Good morning. Hey, this is Rosa. Hopefully your favorite real estate broker. All right, my friends. Well, this morning, I guess I'm getting a little bit sentimental, and here's the reason why. I had to stop at one of my listings here, which is actually behind me. A nice, beautiful colonial. It actually does need some work, but it is an estate, right? And it really kind of got me to thinking about things. Good morning, Hilda. Hey, thanks for watching. You know, one of the things that got me to thinking about is this gentleman, you know, he's moved on in his life, right? And he's not the only one, which I'm selling a home as an estate. And I knew this gentleman in particular that owned this home. And he always told me about how he either wanted to move to upper state New York to be with the rest of his family, or he wanted to move to Florida to enjoy the beautiful weather for the winters and so forth. And he never took that opportunity. Now, we tried a few years back in 2007-8 when the market really tanked, right? And it was right before the market started tanking. This gentleman had called me up and he had told me, hey Rob, I'm thinking about moving. And we sat down and we talked about it and we went over the numbers. The numbers were very, very tight. You see, and I wanted to bring that up this morning because for a lot of people, the numbers, when we talk about making an important decision to move, to maybe move on in your life, to do something that you wanted to always do, well, maybe the numbers are too tight for that right now. And for this gentleman, the numbers were really tight. We tried, we had put the home on the market, we tried working on another mortgage, we tried all sorts of things, right? But he could have done it, but he didn't take that step. He got too nervous. He felt like it was going to be too hard for him. He felt like he couldn't take that first step. Like, think about it. You know, I saw a video the other day where there was this child, maybe she was 4 years old, and she was on top of this little table or something, and she had to jump into her father's arms. And it was really, really tough for her to do, right? But she actually finally did it. Well, the same thing with this gentleman. He could not take that first step. You know, and a lot of us, we almost get paralyzed. We don't know what to do. We start getting flustered. We don't feel like we have enough information, or honestly, we are just too scared to do it. So what I'm here this morning, just for a moment or two, is to tell you, hey, listen, first of all, even though the real estate market's changed big time, right? And it's going to change again. It always changes. I've been doing this for 20 years. The market is always changing. But I would tell you is look within yourself, right? Look in the mirror. Look at yourself like you're one of your friends. And what would they tell you? As someone who really, really cares about, is now the time for you to make that move. Maybe you need to downsize. Maybe you need something smaller. And Maritza and Bob, thank you so much for watching. Maybe you need something bigger. Maybe your family is growing, right? Maybe you feel like the taxes are too much for you. Maybe you, even though it's absolutely beautiful out this morning, right? Maybe you do not want to deal with this cold winter that's going to come along sooner or later. And you always kept telling yourself, hey, I'm moving down south. Maybe it's that time for you to make that move, right? Hey, Angel, thanks for watching. So how do we do that? What's the best way to make that move? Well, first of all, like I said, look outside of yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror as though you're a friend. Someone that really cares about you, that has no bias. And think about, okay, what is the best advice that you would give this person? Because there are people who are looking at, you know, us right now, and they might say, oh, this person, you know, they really, look at the way their family's living. They really do need a bigger home. Or they really could cut back on costs. I know they're complaining about money and income is tight for them. They could cut back on how much they're spending on their housing. Or they have this beautiful family down in North Carolina. Why don't they move down there and go spend time with their family? Again, the reminder here is that life is short. We don't want to be irresponsible, but go and make that move. If you've been a renter forever, maybe you saw your parents being a renter, right? And you always wanted to buy a home. Well, make that move. We have tons of mortgage programs available. We're going to help you talk through those steps. You see, and isn't that important, is to talk through those steps? And then what are we going to do? We're going to write these steps down, right? We're going to talk about how, like, for instance, one of the things I have to explain to a lot of people who are selling and then buying is that we're going to work it out so that I can promise you will never be homeless, right? You might be homeless for about an hour and a half because in the morning we're going to sell your home and then an hour and a half later we're going to buy that new home for you, but you won't be homeless. Yeah, Maritza, hey, I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone. But at the same time, what I'm telling you is go for your dreams. Take that next step. Maybe it's not time for you. Maybe it isn't, right? Maybe it's time for you to open up your eyes to embrace what's going on around us and say, hey, you know what? I only have 100 years to walk around on this planet. Well, maybe it's time for me to take that step. Maybe it's something to prove not only to yourself, but also to those family and friends that you can do the things that you said you wanted to do. Hey, thank you, David, for joining us. Hey, Gordon, thank you for joining us. So what are some of the other steps, right, that you could take that will help you? Well, I did talk a couple times about writing it in the mirror, right? The next step might be to say, hey, let's write it down. Put down the steps. Put down your vision, right? 2023 is coming. Really darn pretty quick, right? In less than 2 months. And everybody's going to be talking about these resolutions and, I'm going to do things different and I'm going to do things better in 2023. And I'm all for self-improvement. I'm all for trying to make things better for me all the time, right? Not just on January 1st, January 2nd, and forget about it by January 3rd. I am all about constant, consistent self-improvement. So write it down. Write down your vision. Write down where you would love to see yourself living, where you would love to see yourself vacationing. What does it look like? Is it a vacation home? Is it something that you're going to be living in maybe 6 months out of the year? Is it something where you're going to move down full time? Write it down. Start putting together a vision, a plan. And I can promise you that's a huge, huge step. Now, what we most of the time, or a lot of us will use, is financial constraints, right? We'll say, well, I can't do that right now because I don't have the money. I'm not able to do that right now. Well, are you 100% sure about that? Because first of all, forget about the interest rates. Do they make a difference in our lives? Yes. But should it be something where you're making major life decisions because of a few percent of interest rate? No, interest rates are going to keep on moving. They're going to move up. They're going to move down. Go with what you need, number one, and then start focusing on how you can make something happen with what you want. Right? And don't worry necessarily, yes, maybe could you? I mean, I hate to put this out there because I know a lot of people are talking about it, but it is true. Maybe could you refinance in a year or two? Maybe. Maybe you won't be able to. You might be mad at yourself saying, well, you know what? I shouldn't have made this move because of this or this. Yes, that could happen. But how about you being true to yourself? Right? How about you saying to yourself, you know what? I went for it. right? I did it my way. I tried my best to make things the best possible for me and my family. You know that tattoo that a lot of people have, you see it on the commercial, no regrets. No regrets. Don't live with regrets. Go and make it happen, right? So we can write this stuff down. We can talk about a plan as to how we're going to do it. We can take it step by step by step, and then we'll help you. That way, you are going to live your life the way that you wanted to. And you're not going to have those last minute feelings of like, man, I should have done this or I should have done that, because that's probably one of the worst things, is to have a regret that you didn't do something, right? Like I said, I'm in front of a house right now of this gentleman. He wanted to do so much more with his life in a lot of different ways. And for the most part, he didn't do it. And I think it was a fear, because he felt like, okay, I have this house here. Well, what am I going to have elsewhere? Right? But there are plenty of houses everywhere. All over the country, we can find you a house. Believe it or not, I have people moving out to go move to Tennessee, to go move to North Carolina. I have people moving in from New York area, from Boston area. There are plenty of homes throughout this world that we can help you find one. So if you want to talk more about that, let me know. But on this Sunday morning, this absolutely Sunday morning, beautiful Sunday morning, I wanted to give you a little bit of inspiration and tell you, hey, there are people like me that care about you. We're looking out for you. We want to help you make the move that you want to make so that you can live your best life possible. So if you need help making decisions about things, talking about things, keeping things very private, hey, maybe it means that we just meet up for a cup of coffee. It's just you and I. No one needs to know anything. We don't have to get mortgage people involved right now. We don't have to necessarily even talk about how the numbers will affect you, unless you're that type of person that's the most important thing. Are numbers the most important thing to you? Or do you want to get up in the morning feeling happy, being excited about your life? Because you see, these few minutes that just went by, I'm never going to have them again, right? So I'm spending these few minutes knowing that I'm out here trying to talk to people to help them. And so think about, what are you doing? Are you trying to help someone? Are you trying to help yourself? Are you trying to live your best life? If not, go for it. Go for it right now. Start talking about it. Start thinking about it. Start writing it down. And don't wait until January 1st. Call me or text me if you need me, and we could talk more. So again, this was Rob Rosa. Hopefully your favorite real estate broker. Signing out, my friends. We'll talk to you soon. God bless you, and I hope you have an awesome, awesome day and an awesome life. Bye.